I wish I may, I wish I might become a music teacher overnight.
Dreams really do come true. Hello, Griffins. We've come to the end of our year, and it's time to review all the things you've learned in music class this year. Let's talk about what kindergarteners learned in their first year of music at Great Hearts. First, you learned what steady beat is. The beat is the steady pulse of the music. We practice steady beat using spider fingers. Spider fingers are just a gentle way to practice the steady beat on our knees. Let's practice that together. It looks like this. Bee, bee, bumblebee, stung a man upon his knee, stung a pig upon his snout. I declare that you are out. Great job. The next thing kindergarteners learned was fast and slow. Fast looks like this. Page's train runs so fast, can't see nothing but the window glass. Slow looks like this. Sarah's mule goes so slow, there'll always be another row to hoe. There are lots of songs that we can use to remember the different things we learned in music class. Bee, bumblebee is perfect for steady beat, and Page's train is great for remembering fast and slow. Nice job, kindergarteners. I can't wait to see you next year. In first grade, we learned a lot about rhythms. Do you remember what 1 and 2 sounds on a beat looks like? Time for a pop quiz. On the count of 3, I want you to yell the name of this note. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you say it? Okay, the name of this note is quarter note. Did you get it right? I know you did. First graders are super smart. But do you know what we say when we read quarter note in a rhythm pattern? Ta. Remember, when you see a quarter note, which is 1 note head and 1 stem, you say ta. Okay, it's time for pop quiz question number 2. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you get it right? If you said 2 eighth notes, you'd be correct. But what do we say when we read 2 eighth notes? It should be, do you have it right? Ta-dee. Every time you see 2 eighth notes beamed together, it will be ta-dee. Let's try reading a pattern together.
Ta, ta, ta-dee-ta.
Nice job, first graders. You remembered these 2 kinds of notes that you learned in first grade music. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. That's not a note, but it is a symbol. Do you know what this symbol is called? It's in the shape of a backward Z, because that's simple to write. This symbol represents a rest, or a beat with no sound. Let's try it.
Ta, ta-dee-ta.
If you read ta, ta-dee, ta, that would be correct. Something you can do with your body on the rest is to tap your shoulders, or you can pulse the beat like this. Remember, a rest is a beat with no sound. Nice job, first graders. Okay, this is just for second graders. If you're a first grader, you need to leave the room, or close your ears, or close your eyes. Second graders, this one's just for you. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. It's a half note. And a half note has how many beats? A half note is equal to 2 quarter notes added together. A half note has 2 beats. When we read a half note, we say ta-ah. Let's try it.
Ta-ah, ta-dee-ta.
Very nice. That should be ta-ah, ta-dee-ta. I know you already know this, but I just have to remind you. There's another way to read a half note. This is what it looks like. A half note is equal to 2 tied quarter notes. For a half note, we read ta-ah. For 2 tied quarter notes, we also read ta-ah.
Ta, ta-dee, ta.
Ta, ta-dee, ta-ah. These are 2 different ways you can read a note that lasts for 2 beats. All right, second graders, this one's just for you. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. This is the newest note that we learned in second grade right before we left for break. This is a 16th note. And 16th note has a very special word that we learned to represent each of the 4 sounds. And that word is takadimi. Will you say it with me? Ready? Here you go. Takadimi. Now we have to speed it up to make sure it fits in our other rhythms. Ready? Here you go. Takadimi. Very nice. Let's see what it looks like in a rhythm. It should sound like this.
Ta, ta-dee, taka-dee-me, ta.
Ta, ta-dee, taka-dee-me, ta. Very nice. This one's for the 6th graders. Before we left for break, we talked about something called time signatures. These are the 3 main ones that we did, and these are simple meter. We talked about 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. The top number on the time signature describes how many beats are in each measure. The bottom number on the time signature describes what kind of note gets the beat. For example, this is what 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 would look like. Ta, 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 ta. In 3/4, we'd have 3 beats per measure, the quarter note getting the beat. Ta, 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 ta. In 4/4, the quarter note still gets the beat, but instead there are 4 beats per measure, so we get 4 quarter notes per measure. Ta, 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 ta. For 6th grade, there's just one more thing I want to review, and that was the different kinds of opera. These are the 2 I want you to remember the most. One is comedic, and one is very solemn. Opera buffa is the comedic kind of opera. This was always meant to have a comic relief. So 2 serious characters who are probably in love with some other servants, and then 1 comedic or maybe 2 comedic characters who are peppering in comedy throughout all the serious plot lines and love and tragedy and all the other things in the plot. Opera seria is a very serious plot line, usually with some kind of tragic event between star-struck lovers. These are both of the kinds of operas that we learned about in music, and there are a few more too, but these are the 2 big ones I want you to remember for next year. Okay, there are 2 more things I want to review with 6th grade before we leave. Do you remember recitative? This is the sort of low, slow, speak, sing part of the opera where the character is sort of using speech tones or just normal notes in the regular speaking register to sort of tell part of the story. Well, the aria is sort of the opposite of that. It's an expansive range of notes from very low to very high, and it's a more melodic and less speech-like. So these are 2 more parts of the opera that you'll hear maybe a soprano or an alto singing. Okay, here's the last thing. Let's talk about keyboard, or the staffs. This is treble clef, and this is bass clef. 6th graders, here are your acronyms or your sentences that you need to remember. Face, or spaces spell face, and always bottom to top. F-A-C-E, face. And then you have your sentence for the bass clef spaces. All cows eat grass, or all cars eat gas. Then you have your sentences for the lines. Remember, these are always from bottom to top. Just like we read left to right, the staves are bottom to top, always. Every good boy deserves fudge, or every good boy does fine. Then you have your lines for the bass clef. Good boys do fine always. Remember, bottom to top. Then the middle C is the C that combines the two staves together. So if you were to write lines in between here, it would just be the musical alphabet all the way up. So you'd go from A to B in this space to C to D in this space to E. So middle C is the line that combines the two staves together. And then we have ledger lines, which are the lines that extend the staff lower and higher. So we've got our lines and spaces that go down and our lines and spaces that extend high. Okay, these are the basics of the staff. There's a lot more to learn in 7th grade and the higher grade levels. All right, 6th grade, I'll talk to you later. The last thing I want to review are the things that I learned in music class. Virtues like friendship and integrity, doing the right thing even when no one is watching, and loyalty. Griffins are the most great-hearted students I've ever met, and you have such a loyalty to your school, to your house, to your friends, to your parents, and to your teachers. Thank you for teaching me all the most important things. Like, it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. And it's always better to work as a team than to try to do it by yourself. I'm so grateful to my students who taught me more than I taught them, I'm sure. My first year at Great Hearts has been an experience I will never forget. I'm honored to be a part of the Great Hearts community and to be a teacher of you wonderful scholars. Everything we've done this year has been a dream come true. I love you and have a safe summer.
Was that all a dream?